Welcome to this very special edition of EBC Sports International. Here's this week's headlines. NBA Cares helps out a Chicago community. USA takes on World at the NBA Rising Stars game. The Vegas Golden Knights outshoot the St. Louis Blues. And in lacrosse action, the Buffalo Bandits try to steal one on the road against the Vancouver Warriors. Hello everyone, I'm Rod De La Paz, coming to you from the New Jersey studios. Welcome to the 100th episode of EBC Sports International. Good day, sports fans, and thanks for joining us in this very special episode. Yes, like what you just heard, it is the 100th episode of EBC Sports International. With the help of God, we made it to this milestone, and viewers like you are also a reason for the program's success. It's a joy being here in our New Jersey studio today. But you know what I would enjoy even more? Being at the NBA All-Star events. Many people know about the NBA All-Star Game, from the three-point competition, the slam dunk contest. But what others might not realize is that these NBA All-Stars hold events off the court as well. One of these events is called NBA Cares. This year, NBA Cares went to a community in Chicago to help the residents there. Our Las Vegas correspondent, Aljamain Santos, has the story.
Every year, a city hosts the NBA All-Star, and every year the NBA hosts its community aid through various events through the NBA Cares program. This year, the NBA All-Star is in Chicago, Illinois, and their aim to help the community began at the Greater Chicago Food Depository.
Well, it's the most important event. I mean, when you can give back, you're able to supply food or give your time. That means more than sometimes playing in a game or sometimes competing in a contest. When guys can do stuff like this, you see everybody that's here smiling because it's fun. It's because it's for a good cause, and it's something that needs to continue to happen. The NBA has done a great job over the years of putting on events like this. And it's even like stuff that we don't even hear about, or the media doesn't even hear about the NBA or other athletes do in their community. So, like I said, everything doesn't have to be public, everything doesn't have to be in the media, but it's 450 NBA players, and it is 450 big hearts.
Serve their communities and educate as well.
As you know, our young people, our younger players are much fortunate than some of us who played before. And we want the NBA want to make them understand that as happy as you are playing in this league and having what has come to you, don't forget about the community. There's a lot of community out there who are suffering, and you see that. I think our players' actions speak much volume on what we're talking about here. This is the first time where we see our players are cutting million dollar check. I'll give you just an example. In the city of Atlanta, we have a player like Trae Young, who just gave $1 million check a couple of weeks ago to the community. So these are the example of our DNA. We believe on giving back, and our players are getting it. They're following the best example of the Dikembe Mutombo.
Well, I just got back from India, and I was doing an NBA Cares event over there too. And the NBA is a global basketball game, but we do more than just play a basketball game. We go out, we talk to the kids, we do food, we do food banks, we do the children's hospital, we create home, we do a lot more than just playing basketball. And it's great that we can teach our youth that this is a great thing to do, is to share and to get back for time.
What kind of message you want to send out to
I send out to my kids. I got my kids here doing it because they need to see what we do, and they need to understand it. Every year I tell my kids, instead of giving clothes away and throwing clothes away, to put it in a bag and taking it, donate this stuff. So we are always trying to find a way to help other people out.
Well, I like to involve myself with. I'm very intrigued when I'm visiting little kids and seeing their situations and trying to compare situations with mine and how I grew up and knowing the people that I looked up to and just watching everything that they're doing. So I try to go out and try to be an example and try to doing the right things and just giving back and supporting the ones that support me.
What does it mean to have an NBA Cares program here in Chicago, and what does it do for the community?
It's fantastic for a couple of reasons. First, just let me tell you a little bit about the need here in Chicago. 1 in 8 people in Cook County face food insecurity, 1 in 6 children. The economy's gotten better, but there are a lot of people here in Chicago that are still hurting, especially on the south and west side of the city and on the south and west suburbs. There are neighborhoods with more than 20-30% poverty and unemployment rates. So there's a lot of people out there that are still in need. And so having the NBA here is fantastic because it helps us raise awareness of the need for this. But it also, there's going to be 500 people here today packing food for families in need. And so it's amazing. And this is actually the largest volunteer repack event in our history, in our 41-year history. So it's great for building awareness, but also all this food is going to go out to food pantries and soup kitchens and shelters and people who need it. So it's really good. And we're very grateful. Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Obviously, hunger is a year-round problem, right? And so I think people tend to think of it around the holidays. It's dangerously cold out there today. And so it is a time to be top of mind, but it's a year-round problem. And so it's great that, all the NBA fans are hopefully seeing players out giving back to their community, and hopefully they're inspired to do the same and help out their neighbors in need.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Extending a helping hand no matter what walk of life has been the experience of everyone involved with the NBA Cares program and the inspiration it created for the community. Once the NBA leaves the city, players and staff hope to have inspired the local community and city officials to continue creating the awareness and provide the manpower required to keep helping one another. From the Greater Chicago Food Depository, Aljamain Santos, Eagle News, always one with 25.
Thanks, Aljamain. Let's stay with the NBA All-Stars. During the All-Star weekend, everyone knows that the big game is the East versus West All-Star matchup. But there is another matchup that some might overlook, but is a pleasure to watch. It's the USA versus World match. This is played during the NBA Rising Stars game, and this year it has big names on the lineup like Zion Williamson and Ja Morant for the US and Luka Doncic for the World team. Our EBC correspondent Zarita May Sese was there to cover the exciting game. Here's the story.
On Friday night, fans from all across the country heard the chilly winds of Chicago in order to see the young talent of the NBA come together and compete in the Rising Stars League. Luka Doncic, Rui Hachimura, Ja Morant, and Zion Williamson were some of the young talent chosen to represent their countries. Countries including Canada, Italy, Slovenia, and Japan were represented by young NBA stars as they went up against Team USA. Rui Hachimura, RJ Barrett, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were just some of the talent that made up Team World, and they had a strong start to the game. Team World led the game at the half, 81-71, with Barrett leading the pack with 15 points. However, it was in the second half where the talent of Team USA really shined. In the second half, Team USA dominated Team World, outscoring them 80-50 in order to take the lead and win the night. 5 of the 10 players on Team USA scored 15-plus points for the night, but it was Miles Bridges from the Charlotte Hornets who took home MVP. Bridges finished with 21 points and shot 8 for 12 from the field. But aside from bragging rights, the Rising Star event is a game that many young players strive to be a part of because of what it means. It showcases the future of the NBA, and those involved become an advocate for the game to the kids aspiring to be them one day. This year's Rising Star game was the most viewed game since 2015, with 1.6 million people watching from all over the world. As the NBA world gathered around Chicago to kick off its All-Star festivities, many fans were treated to what the future of the NBA holds in these young players. Players represented from all over the world gave fans a taste of the exciting events yet to come throughout the weekend. From United Center in Chicago, Zarita Sese, Eagle News, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Zarita. When we return, the Vegas Golden Knights outshoot the St. Louis Blues. And in lacrosse action, the Buffalo Bandits try to steal one on the road against the Vancouver Warriors. The 100th episode of EBC Sports International will be back in a moment. Don't go away. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the 100th episode of EBC Sports International. I'm Rod Della Paz, broadcasting from New Jersey studios. Thanks for staying with us. From the NBA, let's go to the NHL, where there was an 11-goal shootout between the Vegas Golden Knights and the St. Louis Blues. Our EBC correspondent, Brian Sonson, reports on who came out on top. Brian?
Hockey was played in glorious fashion as the Vegas Golden Knights defeated the St. Louis Blues in overtime 6-5. Every second on the ice counted as Jonathan Marchessault scored 2 goals with 1 to win the game in overtime. Let's dig into the game. Zach Sanford stood out for the St. Louis Blues, scoring 4 goals, including 1 in the third period to take the lead with under 8 minutes left to play. And Alex Tuch scored an even-strength goal to tie the game to take the game into overtime. The momentum shifted when Blues left wing Jaden Schwartz was penalized for hooking, and center Jonathan Marchessault scored a rebounding power play goal to win it all. Jonathan Marchessault talks about his winning play.
You to be the one to score then after not getting the penalty shot to score in overtime?
I'm not really thinking about that. I mean, I'm just thinking we have a power play, and when you have a power play in overtime, you need to cash in, and we're not necessarily the best, got the most results out of their overtime, and it was fun to get it tonight.
VGK goalie Malcolm Subban started tonight's game and had limited time to prepare when star goalie Marc-Andre Fleury was subbed out due to illness. Subban had 19 saves, and many of them were timely in the second and third period. VGK right wing Mark Stone talks about Subban rising to the occasion.
Team to beat them, how you did it.
Yeah, we had a good start to the game. Obviously, the first goal, the first shift wasn't great, but overall, the first 10 minutes, that was really good. Shots were 10-2, get a breakaway, 2-1. We're playing well, and just a couple mistakes. I think ultimately we probably gave up maybe 10 grade A chances tonight, so we got 5 big saves from our goalie, but we can't expect our goalie to make 10 big-time saves like that. But our offense was really good tonight. Kind of grinded and low, drew some penalties, and power play stepped up for us tonight. We hadn't done that in a long time, so it was big for us to get that done. I think he got an open net on him. We see it in practice. He got an open net on him. He gets across. It wasn't easy for him. I don't think he was supposed to start tonight. So it's tough for as pros. You try to be prepared, but. Initially, when you don't think that you're starting, maybe the preparation's not quite there. So for him to get ready in the morning and give that kind of effort for us tonight was big.
VGK head coach Peter DeBoer speaks on St. Louis Blues Jay Bouwmeester's recovery from cardiac arrest and how the Blues played despite the recent tragic event.
Mentally?
Yeah, I think we really wanted to concentrate on ourselves. I mean, honestly, I didn't know how they would come in after going through something like that. That's something that's it's traumatic. It's traumatic watching it as an outsider. I can't imagine being there. So, I give them a lot of credit. I thought they came out and they were ready to play. They didn't look distracted and they really played a good game considering the circumstances.
Want to see more NHL highlights just like this? Subscribe to EBC Sports International on YouTube and follow our website at eaglenews.ph. Coming from the T-Mobile Arena, Eagle News, Brian Sonson, 1 with 25.
Thanks, Brian. From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, let's cross the border into Canada, where our British Columbia correspondent Anthony Sevilla reports on the lacrosse action between the Buffalo Bandits and Vancouver Warriors. Let's take a look.
The Buffalo Bandits remained undefeated on the road this season after they defeated the Vancouver Warriors 15-8 and improved the record to 6-1. Vancouver pulled the trigger early on with just 47 seconds after the first face-off. Mitch Jones' point shot went right through the Bandits goaltender, first of 3 goals on the night. Buffalo would take advantage in the second quarter by scoring 5 unanswered goals. Despite a strong start from the Warriors, they were unable to generate that same energy late in the game. The Bandits would eventually pull away in this game with another 4 unanswered goals to claim their 5th straight victory.
Our first big win, our first win with like a good lead. That's what we've been looking for. You know, we've been having these close games, just barely squeaking it out. We needed that one. He may not be here with us, but he does a great job of being a leader from still back at home. And, you know, our defense does a great job of filling that role. You know, he's a big role on the defense, but I think they played well tonight. And he's still, even when he's not here, he's still the biggest part of our team. It's a quick turnaround. Luckily, we've played them once before. We got to rest up. That was a tough game. Bodies are sore. We got to rest up, ice up, and then get right back into film tomorrow.
We had a game plan going in, and we thought we started the game off doing what we wanted to do, and for whatever reason, we kind of got away from that, and they went on a couple goal run there, and we started playing a little bit undisciplined with possessions, and then near the end of the game, playing undisciplined with penalties. So, yeah, we battled, we did our things, but there was a point in that game where we're just like, if we just keep doing what we want to do, yeah, at the end of the day, undisciplined lacrosse will kill you every time.
Warriors forward Mitch Jones led his team in scoring, recording 3 goals and 3 assists. The former Buffalo Bandits player highlighted the many mistakes the team made in the loss to Buffalo.
I mean, that's a good team. We knew that coming in. We could talk about what they did right, but I think as a group we're kind of focused on what we did wrong. Not to take anything away from them, but there's just a lot of mistakes out there. It starts with our leadership group, but there's a lot of mistakes that we've been making. We kind of had those 2 games stepping forward, and I think it was kind of a 1 step forward, 2 steps back tonight. Good news is we're back at it this weekend, so hopefully it's a blip on our radar, but we'll see how we respond.
From Vancouver, Anthony Sevilla, Eagle News, 1/25.
There you have it, the 100th episode of EBC Sports International. We'd like to thank all of our viewers as well as our correspondents in the different bureaus, and for 100 episodes brought you sports stories in these interesting times. Be sure to join us for the next episode. Make sure to visit our website at eaglenews.net and eaglenewslive.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/eaglenewsph. Thanks for watching. I'm Rod De La Paz, 1/25.